Looking ahead here, what kind of race do you expect to see?
It's going to be a barn burner. Obviously, in the Democratic primary, when you talk about Sestak and Specter, the differences on policy were minimal. And that's part of the reason you saw Specter go after Sestak on some of these tangential kind of issues. He got drummed out of the Navy because he was a mean guy. He doesn't pay his staff very well. He missed a lot of votes while running for this particular Senate seat. And so now you get into the general election, and now it's time for real policy discussions. Pat Toomey has been on the sidelines because his primary race was really no race at all. A landslide over Peg Luksic, and everyone knew that was going to be the case. So he's sitting on the sidelines where all the attention is focused on Sestak and Specter. Now he gets into the game. Tomorrow morning, right here on Good Day, he'll be talking with our folks, and right after that, a big-time fly-around all over Pennsylvania. He's going to start out in Philadelphia. He's going to head up to Scranton-Wilkes-Barre. He's going to head to Harrisburg. He's going to be in the Pittsburgh area. He's going to end up the day in the afternoon, late afternoon, in Erie, Pennsylvania. So he's going to be all over the place tomorrow, hammering away at Joe Sestak. In each case, Sestak will say about Pat Toomey, this guy is too right-wing for Pennsylvania. He's not mainstream enough. Pat Toomey will come back and say, Joe Sestak, guy's a mainstream, no way. He's liberal as can be. And so each of these guys is going to paint the other on the extreme ends of their particular parties, while they themselves try and move into the vast middle that represents most Pennsylvania voters.
How soon will we see President Obama step in here and support Sestak?
I don't think it'll take too long.
No.
Again, I think he has to kind of, if I were giving advice to the president, God knows he doesn't need my advice, I would sit back for a little bit. There's no point jumping in too soon because you look frankly hypocritical about this whole thing. So you sit back a little bit. One thing is very clear in the discussions I've had, and I've had a number of them with the party operatives in the Democratic Party during the course of this campaign, they are very worried, they say, about the Sestak campaign operation. Yes, he won, they say, but frankly, given the environment, a lot of guys could have won this race against Arlen Specter. They're concerned that there aren't a lot of professionals, grown-ups, if you will, in the Sestak camp. Obviously, Neil Oxman handling the TV commercials did a wonderful job. In fact, I think they gave Mr. Oxman and those commercials perhaps more credit than they deserved, in the sense that this was, after all, Arlen Specter's own words that ultimately put him to defeat tonight. But they are very concerned. The Sestak camp, there's an earnestness about the campaign and about the candidacy, but there's not a lot of professionalism sometimes. And we saw that even this morning when he went to vote. No arrangements had been made at the polling place. None of the photographers were able to get in and actually see him vote. Little things like that could kill you in a general election race. So the parties, bigwigs among the Democrats, we're going to absolutely get in behind him.
I want to interrupt for just a second because our Sharon Crowley is standing by with Joe Sestak. Sharon.
Okay, great. How are you? How do you feel?
We feel really pleased. And then good.
You've got your daughter on your shoulders there, right?
Absolutely.
And your wife by your side. Now, let me ask you this. The race was a close one at first, or close one toward the end here. Is it the commercial, you think, that puts you over the edge, or do you think it's sort of an anti-incumbent move?
What I honestly believe is that we had gone to about 650 events since the beginning of January. We got out and about. And you're right, the media ads did go out, very positive ads. Then people got to know us. But I have to also say that people, they were just tired about Washington, and those that somehow seem to have gotten us into a mess. And I think that there was something, this is a different moment in our history. It's something where they were slammed. They were ripped apart. It's not their fault. And I think they were just looking for, a different generation to take.
You got to give some credit to that commercial, though.
Yeah, but it was interesting. I don't know if people had noticed, but the first commercial we had run for about 2.5 weeks, the polls had closed the majority of the way prior to that other one go up. But there's not a question that, you know, all of them mattered, I think.
Going forward, how do
you convince more people to come out and even vote? The turnout was low today, sort of disappointingly low.
Yeah, it's a great question because I honestly believe that trying to have people be passionate again, as they were a couple years ago, is part of my responsibility, and I want to make that happen. I'm hoping to have Democrats, Republicans actually, because my district's the majority Republicans, and I feel we can attract them across the state, and independents be passionate. That's my job to do it by exciting them about, you know, it's not going to be politics as usual. I'd be willing to stand up my own party when they're wrong. as long as it helps you, the Pennsylvania families.
Take us toward November. How are you going to win?
It's the same way we did it here. We're going to go everywhere. We'll start with a train station tomorrow morning, about 6:30, and we'll be out gripping with everybody and explaining who we are. And I think we'll see some real debates about a failed philosophy that people tried, trickle-down economics during the 8 years of George Bush, and a different way to approach it. And that's going to be a great debate about how can you help pay families, working families, and those that want to work in Pennsylvania. We're going to do it the same exact way.
And our viewers see your daughter up here. Have you held through the campaign, sweetie?
Well, I just tried to kind of stay down. I don't know.
Are you a cool kid at school now, or what? I mean, your dad's going to run for Senate. It's pretty cool, huh?
Well, he's already run for Congress. It's not much different.
All right.
All right.
Good.
There you go.
Stealing the
Sit there and you say, whoa, what's she going to say?
And your wife, how are you doing?
Oh, it's a great night. We are very excited. Despite whatever Alex may or may not say, we're just very, very proud of him. He's run a great campaign, and we're looking forward to the next 6 months or so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
We're just
very
going to
much.
move down here.
All right, be careful. As you can see, there are a lot of media here crawling all over the place and supporters. So as you see the winner here. So we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Sharon Crowley, thank you. Nicely done tonight. Well, you heard it. I think Sestak has a little built-in spokesperson with his daughter. But I do want to get back. He mentioned he ran very positive ads. Bruce, do you agree?
Well, he started out positive. There's no question about that. Talked a lot about his Navy career and the polling certainly. And again, you know, perception is reality. The Rasmussen polling that we've seen on this suggested that voters in the Democratic primary clearly believed that Sestak's ads were generally positive. They clearly believed that Specter's ads were overwhelmingly negative. And so that perception obviously helped Joe Sestak. Folks like it when you appear to be positive.
And he said he's going to hit the ground running, Jeff. I guess waste no time, right?
Look, whatever you want to say about this guy, we have heard that in the Democratic establishment they've sort of mocked him, that maybe he doesn't have the sort of professional campaign that others have run in this state. One thing about him is that he seems to work extremely hard. This is a guy who can just keep on going and going and going, and he will do it. Yeah, 6:30 tomorrow morning, I bet he will be out there, and that's the kind of campaign he ran. Yeah, I mean, he came out of the box. You remember the ads, those ads that had the pictures of him serving this country in military and in uniform. But by the end, of course, the important ad that talks about with Specter saying, "Get reelected."